The car niche has over 100 million followers across various platforms. But how can an industry worth over $1 trillion have such a small niche following? Well, it all comes down to scale. The global automotive industry produces over 80 million cars every single year. And with so many cars on the road, people need to buy tires, get maintenance, and get their cars fixed. All of this adds up to a massive industry that generates over $10 trillion in revenue every single year. It's no surprise that the automotive industry has such a massive audience. But the car niche is not about cars being used as a tool for manufacturing or transportation. It's about cars as a hobby. And with over 100 million followers, it's one of the largest hobbies in the world. There are tens of thousands of creators in the car niche, each with their own unique take on cars. Some focus on modifying their cars, while others focus on taking their cars to the track. And there are even creators who make videos about the business side of the car industry. But despite the size of the niche, it's still relatively small compared to the rest of the automotive industry. That's because the car niche is only monetized through digital content, sponsorships, and merchandise. In other words, it's not directly related to the sale of cars. The car niche does generate nearly as much revenue as the rest of the automotive industry, because the products being sold are far more expensive. The Toyota Corolla, for example, is one of the best-selling cars in the world. It starts at just under $20,000. But in the car niche, the cheapest thing you can buy is a t-shirt for around $20. Of course, some people spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars on merchandise. But that's the exception rather than the norm. The vast majority of the car niche's revenue comes from sponsorships and advertising. And while some YouTubers may seem like they're getting paid millions of dollars per video, that's usually not the case. In fact, most YouTubers in the car niche make less than $10,000 per year. Despite the small size of the car niche, it's still a valuable force within the automotive industry. That's because the people who are passionate about cars are often the ones who are willing to spend the most money on cars and related products. In other words, the car niche is not just a large group of consumers, it's also a highly influential group. Car YouTubers are often seen as experts in the field, and their recommendations can make or break a product. For example, when Adam LZ took a Tesla Model S to the drag strip and set a new record time, it generated a ton of publicity for Tesla. On the other hand, when Chris Angel dropped a video about the Ford GT, it generated a lot of negative publicity for Ford. In conclusion, despite the size of the car niche compared to the rest of the automotive industry, it's still a very important part of the industry. The people who are passionate about cars and willing to spend the most money on cars. Brands in the automotive industry would be nothing without the car niche. This has been a 3-minute documentary. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe.